In an age where digital data reigns supreme, corporations are constantly under the threat of cyber attacks. This is the mysterious and often misunderstood world of cybersecurity risk. As we journey into the labyrinth of this digital realm, we find businesses of all sizes, from the small startup to the multinational corporation, all vulnerable to the invisible menace known as cyber threats. You see, our world is more interconnected than ever, a vast web of data and digital infrastructure. And just as a spider's web is vulnerable to the wind, so too are our digital networks vulnerable to cyber attacks. This is why assessing cybersecurity risk is of paramount importance. It's a bit like a game of chess. Businesses must think several moves ahead, anticipating potential threats and vulnerabilities. But the question remains, how do corporations assess these cybersecurity risks, and why do employees often dread this process? Imagine yourself as an employee in a bustling corporation. Your day-to-day tasks involve handling sensitive data, and you are the first line of defense. Let's dive into the world of a typical corporate employee. You sit down at your desk, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee filling the air. There's a sense of purpose, a sense of responsibility. You're not just punching numbers or drafting emails, you're handling sensitive data, critical information that forms the lifeblood of your organization. Every day, you navigate the intricate labyrinth of files and folders, the digital realm where data resides. But this realm is not a safe haven. It's a battleground. A battleground where invisible enemies lurk in the shadows, waiting to strike. These are cyber threats, a constant menace in the digital age. As an employee, you are the first line of defense against these threats. You are the gatekeeper, the guardian of the data. It's a role of immense significance, but it's not without its challenges. One of the key challenges you face is understanding and managing cybersecurity risks. You're not a cybersecurity expert, and yet you're expected to identify suspicious emails, protect your login credentials, and adhere to security protocols. The stakes are high. A single mistake can open the doors to cyber attackers, putting the entire organization at risk. But let's not forget the other side of the coin. This process can be incredibly complex and time-consuming. You're expected to juggle your regular duties with the added responsibility of cybersecurity. This can lead to frustration, stress, and yes, a certain dislike for the risk assessment process. Yet, it's a crucial part of your role. It's not just about protecting data. It's about safeguarding the reputation of your organization, the trust of your clients, and ultimately, your own job. As an employee, the burden of protecting company data can be daunting, leading to a dislike for the risk assessment process. But remember, every puzzle has a solution. It's about finding the right pieces and putting them together. And that's what we're going to explore in the next scene. Stay tuned. Now, let's step into the shoes of an OT employee, the hidden heroes of the cybersecurity world. Imagine being an operational technology or OT employee. Your daily tasks revolve around managing, monitoring, and maintaining the complex systems that keep the digital world spinning. You are the gatekeeper of the tech universe, a guardian against the invisible threats that lurk in the cyber shadows. In this role, you are not just a worker, but a warrior. You are the first line of defense against cyber threats and the last resort when everything else fails. Your role is crucial and the stakes are high. You are the one who ensures that the digital fortress remains unbreached, that the data stays secure, and that the network stays intact. Now let's talk about the complexities of this role. The network infrastructure is like a labyrinth, full of twists and turns and fraught with potential threats. Every node, every connection, every data point is a potential vulnerability. And as an OT employee, it's your job to navigate this labyrinth, to find and fix these vulnerabilities before they can be exploited. But wait, there's more. The network infrastructure is not static. It's constantly evolving, growing, changing. New technologies are introduced, old ones are phased out, and the network becomes more and more complex. This means that the labyrinth you need to navigate is also constantly changing, adding another layer of complexity to your role. And then there's the pressure. The responsibility of protecting the network, of ensuring the security of the data, rests on your shoulders. A single mistake, a single oversight could lead to a breach, to a loss of data, to a compromise of the entire system. This is a heavy burden to bear, and it adds a significant amount of stress to your role. Yet despite these challenges, you persevere. You continue to navigate the labyrinth, to protect the network, to shoulder the responsibility, because you understand the importance of your role, and you are committed to doing your best. The immense responsibility often leads to a love-hate relationship with the risk assessment process. The network infrastructure of a corporation is like a complex maze, and navigating it is no easy task. Indeed, it's as if you're trying to find your way through a labyrinth, with each turn representing a different component of the network. It's a world of servers, routers, switches, and firewalls, each part playing a crucial role in the overall structure. The design of this network infrastructure can greatly impact the level of cybersecurity risk. Think of it as a castle. The more doors and windows a castle has, the more entry points there are for potential invaders. Similarly, the more complex a network infrastructure is, the more opportunities there are for cyber attackers to infiltrate and compromise the system. However, it's not just about the complexity. The way these components are arranged and interconnected also matters. If a critical server is directly accessible from the internet, it's like leaving the castle's treasure room wide open. That's why network segmentation, creating separate sections within the network, is often employed to minimize the exposure of sensitive systems. So how can corporations think through these risks? It starts with a thorough understanding of the network architecture. Knowing what components are present, how they are connected, and what each of them does is the first step. This is often visualized in a network diagram, a map of the labyrinth, if you will. Next, potential vulnerabilities need to be identified. This involves thinking like a cyber attacker, probing for weak points in the network's defenses. Regular penetration testing can provide valuable insights into potential attack vectors. Finally, strategies need to be developed to mitigate these risks. This could involve redesigning certain parts of the network, implementing additional security measures, or even changing the way certain business processes are done. In the end, understanding the network infrastructure is pivotal in assessing cybersecurity risks. Because just like navigating through a labyrinth, knowing the layout and potential pitfalls can make all the difference between getting lost and finding your way. Risk assessment is not just a process, it's an art that requires a deep understanding of the system's vulnerabilities. Now let's delve into this art form. The first step is identifying the potential risks that could disrupt the system's security. These risks can be anything from malware attacks to breaches in data privacy. Once these risks are identified, they are then analyzed based on their potential impact and probability of occurrence. Consider this as a game of chess, where every move you make has potential implications. The key is to think 2 steps ahead, anticipating the opponent's moves and understanding the vulnerabilities of your own positions. Just like in chess, the assessment of cyber risk requires strategic thinking and a keen eye for detail. Now, a crucial aspect of risk assessment is risk prioritization. Not all risks are created equal. Some could cause a mild inconvenience, while others could bring the whole operation down. Therefore, it's important to prioritize these risks based on their potential harm. Next, we consider the countermeasures. These are the actions taken to mitigate the risks that have been identified. This could involve patching a software vulnerability, implementing a new security protocol, or even something as simple as changing a password. The last part of the risk assessment process is the constant monitoring and review. The cyber landscape is not static. New threats emerge every day and old ones evolve. Therefore, risk assessments should not be a one-time thing. They should be conducted regularly to keep up with the ever-changing cyber environment. Now, you might be wondering, why go through all this trouble? Well, overlooking these risks could lead to disastrous consequences, from financial losses to reputational damage. It could even lead to legal issues if customer data is compromised. So, risk assessment is not just about ticking boxes. It's about understanding the system, identifying the potential threats, and taking the necessary steps to mitigate them. A well-executed risk assessment can be the difference between a secure corporation and one that's prone to cyber attacks. And that, my friends, is the art of risk assessment. Assessing cybersecurity risk in corporations is a journey full of complexities and challenges. We've delved into the mysterious realm of cybersecurity risk, shedding light on the puzzles that corporate employees grapple with, and the critical role of the unsung heroes, the OT employees. We've navigated the intricate labyrinth of network infrastructure, understanding that the design can significantly impact the level of risk. Risk assessment, as we've learned, is an art, a delicate balance between protecting valuable resources and maintaining operational efficiency. It's a task that many dread, not out of laziness, but due to the gravity of the responsibility it carries. But remember, this isn't a journey you embark on alone. Collaboration and communication are essential in creating a robust defense against cyber threats. So, why do we dive deep into this labyrinth? Because in the world of cybersecurity, knowledge is your best defense. Stay informed, stay safe.